now 7 o'clock. We will call our regular town council meeting to order. Ed, if you will lead the pledge of allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, we will begin with presentations and recognitions. Johnny, if you could take the veterans.
All right. Whereas the citizens of our country are justly proud of the men and women who have fought to defend the principles of liberty and freedom on which our nation was founded, and whereas from the Revolutionary era militias to today's sophisticated defense structure, American service members have defended our country in times of challenge, brought honor to the United States, and created a solid foundation for its continued security, growth, and prosperity. And whereas, despite the tremendous perils and pressures of wartime, our armed forces have defended the country with conviction and courage. In admiration of the strength of our convictions, other nations have looked to America for leadership. And our allies have always been secure in the knowledge that our proud country will not allow its principles and beliefs to be compromised. And whereas the citizens of the United States will forever owe an immense debt of gratitude to our veterans for the sacrifices they have made to secure the safety of our country. And whereas, as an expression of that gratitude, President Dwight D. Eisenhower signed into law an act calling for the observance of Veterans Day on November 11th of each year. And in 1921, that date was originally designated as Armistice Day, in the remembrance of the end of World War I, and as a perpetual reminder of the blessings of peace. And by 1954, the observance widened to honor the courageous veterans of all foreign conflicts. And whereas our veterans reflect the preeminent qualities of patriotism and courage in all of us and continue to make countless contributions to military and civilian life. In addition, many men and women from Connecticut are in the National Guard serving our country, along with many other Connecticut residents serving in the United States Army, Air Force, Navy, Marines, and Coast Guard. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Farmington Town Council hereby thanks the many contributions and accomplishments of all of our veterans, dated at Farmington, Connecticut, this 14th day of November 2023, signed C.J. Thomas, Chair.
Thank you, John. Okay. Moving on to item D, public hearing. I believe we have none today. New items? I don't believe you have any of those either. Item F, public comment. This is the moment when we invite any of the public to step forward, walk to the podium, state their name and address, and address the town on any topics they wish to do so. First, we will start with anyone here present in the chambers, then we will go online. Is there anyone here in the chambers who would like to speak to the town? Here's your opportunity. Just up here, podium up here.
Oh.
Good night, everyone. My name is Dylan Rayburn. I live on Wakefield Lane off Meadow. And so the topic I was going to bring up today is crosswalk safety in the town of Farmington. There's a lot of good things that I see here in the town of Farmington, and I hope that we can somehow improve upon the crosswalks on Main Street, Route 10 in Farmington. I've noticed a lot recently of, not really good drivers in which pedestrians are almost getting hit. And so I was hoping that we could address the next steps to better these crosswalks. Something like how on 177 by the Depot Place, where we have the flashing amber lights, right where the crosswalk is, where the bike path is. Thinking about Main Street, we have the people that live in the area. We have students that miss porters, elderly citizens, and a lot of other people that are constantly using these crosswalks every day. And I witnessed numerous times people not stopping and people having very close calls getting hit. And that's all. Thank you.
Thank you, John. Is there anyone else here in the chambers who would like to address the town? Seeing none. Do we have anyone online?
I do not see any hands raised online.
Okay, no hands up online. All right, with that, we will close the public comments. Moving on to reading of the minutes, item G.
Item G1, I'd like to make a motion to accept the minutes for October 10th, 2023, regular town council meeting.
Second. We have a motion and a second. Any questions or comments? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed unanimously. Reading of communications and written appeals, do we have any? Nope. Okay, reports of committees. We'll begin with the 1928 Building Committee.
Yes, we had one earlier today. In front of you, you'll see a rendering of the entryway for the 1928 building, the new vestibule look with the town of Farmington signage off to the left of it. And we started going through the phases now of all the floors, the layouts of the rooms. Some flip-flopping has been done, so we are moving along right on schedule. And I believe we'll have another meeting on December 12th, 2023.
Great, thank you, Jim. Farmington High School Building Committee.
Yes, at our last meeting, we certified the final plans and project manuals for the FF&E bid packages. That's furniture, et cetera, electronics. We continue to be on time and on budget, which I know everybody likes.
Yes.
And our next meeting is tomorrow, 11:15 at 5 o'clock at the FHS Library.
Great, thank you, Jim. Great efforts.
Yep, green efforts. So all the anti-idling signs have been installed at every school with the exception of the high school because of construction and the rerouting of some of the traffic. The town was notified by Simple Recycling that it will cease operating in the town as of December 1st. And I just want to be clear, that is the recycling of textiles, not anything to do with single stream. Our next meeting is December 5th at 7 p.m.
Great. Any thoughts on what people do with their textiles now?
We just found out the day before the last meeting, so we are going to be digging into that going forward.
Great, thank you. Land Acquisition Committee.
Only to say there will be an executive session to discuss that.
Okay. Racial Equality Task Force.
Racial Equality Task Force, Nancy Parent is continuing to talk to our group and to try to find some dates so we can start having meetings. Obviously, with everybody's schedule, it's hard to try to get us all into one place to have a quorum, but she is working on it, and hopefully we'll have something scheduled soon.
Great. Okay, moving on to item J, report of the council chair and liaisons. Let me start with the chair. First off, we had a very nice veterans celebration this past Saturday in front of the town hall. We had a number of veterans who were joining us, and they made note of all the different branches of the military that we noticed in our proclamation, and included one that wasn't in the proclamation, our Space Force. They don't always remember that. That's kind of new. So, but it was a great celebration. We brought in the veterans, and we are always trying to encourage more veterans to become involved in our local groups. So any out there, please come on in. The election we just had recently, I want to say a thank you to all those who worked it, the poll workers, the moderators, the clerk's office, all did a great job. Also, our registrar of voters, Ann Newberry, and the acting registrar of voters, Mary Jane Parlow, did a great job. It was a long day for them. I forget how late they were here, some until 12:30 on Tuesday. They were all called into action again, half of the workers for our recount on Thursday. We had 3 races that qualified for an automatic recount. One of them was actually recounted. The other 2 people waived that right. As has been the case in all our last recounts, nothing changed. All the positions were the same. And again, thank you to all the poll workers for doing such a fine job that even on close inspection, we come out with all the same results. I just want to say at the top, I'm really proud of the way this council and the previous council has worked together, serving the people of Farmington and Unionville. And it's really, we've accomplished a lot because we have worked together. 2 years ago, after the campaign ended, I expressed my concern over some emails that were sent out by a Democratic candidate. I spoke privately to some friends and colleagues. At that time, they all assured me this was the action of one individual and not the party itself. I have had conversations since that time and more recently with some current members of the Democrat Party before this election who assured me that would not be happening again this year. I just cannot express how disappointed I was to see a mailer that I finally saw a couple of days after the election that was sent out saying, you must vote for Democrats or risk, among other things, ensuring that there is no place for bigotry in Farmington, no place for book banning, bullying, harassing students, intimidating educators, and we need to keep our students and teachers safe. The implication is you can only do that by voting for Democrats. I can assure you that is not the case. We don't have candidates, and the Republican Party does not stand for any of those things. Those pictures were, or those words were right next to the pictures of smiling candidates on the Democratic Party, and that mailer was paid for by the Farmington Democratic Town Committee. Again, none of those things that were basically veiled threats, if you vote for Republicans, these are things that are going to happen, are things that the Republican Party in Farmington stand for. I would just like to personally apologize to all of our residents because clearly I failed you. I could not convince or prevent the election from taking the same turn that the national wasteland of politics looks like. The personal attacks, the fear-mongering is so incredibly short-sighted. We all know who sit up on this dais that it is very difficult to get anyone to run for office, to volunteer. If we are going to attack and vilify them personally, it is just going to be much more difficult. We are discouraging residents from getting involved in our town. It is not the best way to start out a new term to be able to work with someone if you've just been attacking them personally going through a campaign. So again, these are not great tactics, things we have not used in the past. We've had generations of politics in our town where we have not done that. The candidates run on their merits. They tell you what they believe they can achieve. They tell you what they've achieved in the past. They don't personally attack the opponents. We have been very successful doing that over the years. That is why we have some of the lowest tax in the valley. We have a superior school system with a brand new high school being built at the top of the hill. And we have excellent town services and town staff here. We see our neighbors at the grocery store, at the soccer fields, over our miles of trails. I'm not quite sure how you can attack someone like that when you're likely to run into them while you're walking with your kids through the schools. If we are viewing each other as enemies during an election, it will make it much more difficult to work together as this council and the past councils have done to make Farmington the town it is. I know we're better than this, so I hope we can move on from that.
May I respond, please?
No, you may not. This is not your position to respond. This is the town council. If you would like to be town council chair, you have the opportunity to speak at the town council chair's moment. But no, you do not.
Actually, I did run for council, and I lost.
Did you win the position?
No, I didn't.
That?
But that is ridiculous
You are
for you
out
to
of
sit
order.
up there and talk about something and make this
Rafina,
a
you are
political
out of
issue.
order. I've let you speak out of order at many meetings. You are not going to speak at this one out of order, okay?
CJ, that was uncalled for. On so many levels, that was uncalled for.
You're out of order. It is exactly the facts that have happened. Now, on a lighter note, I would like to wish everyone in town a very happy Thanksgiving that is coming up. I hope you all have a happy and healthy Thanksgiving, and for those of you traveling, I hope you have safe travels. With that, we will move on to conservation and inland wetlands.
The Inland Wetlands Committee and the Conservation Committee met on November 1st after a revised plan was presented showing the removal of all wetland disturbances and adjustments to the house lots and sizes and location. The commission voted 6-1 to determine that the Farmington West Estates LP's application for the construction of single-family residences on the lot, that's lot 8678 in Plainville Avenue and Snowberry Lane, is a non-significant regulated activity and does not require a public hearing. They also voted unanimously to approve the Jones Construction LLC application for development of the site to construct 3 warehouse buildings on lot 8556 New Britain Avenue with a few conditions. They also voted unanimously to deny the Frederick Cornelius application to have work done as of right without a permit at 1509 Farmington Avenue, as the activity poses harm to the wetland and watercourse environment and was inconsistent with regulations.
Thank you. Board of Education.
The Board of Ed met last night. They discussed the 2022-2023 goals for the Town Council's 5-year strategic plan and the College Board report, which showed that 72% of Farmington High School students take AP exams scored a 3 or higher in 2023. That was an increase over 2022. Farmington High School also earned gold recognition on the College Board's 2023 AP School Honor Roll, which recognizes AP programs who are delivering, or which are delivering, results for students while broadening access to AP courses, meaning more kids are actually taking at least one AP class. School development plans for the central office in each individual school for 2023 and 2024 were presented, and a lot of moms will be happy about this. An RFP for the bus contract will be going out this week. The board also reached consensus to move the calendar discussions to January, when the new Board of Ed will be seated. Just a note on accessing Board of Ed meetings. They're back to their pre-pandemic policy of meeting in person. The meetings are recorded by Nutmeg TV and are available for viewing online a few days after the meetings are held. And I think there was one other thing. There was a first reading of several policies, including non-discrimination, student attendance, and responsibilities of the Board of Ed.
Thank you. Bicycle and Trails Advisory Committee. The advisory committee is looking into paths at the moment from the Highlands, getting to different spots in town. The goal is generally to try and find safe routes to get to the trails. They've also had conversations, as Dylan brought up earlier today, about crosswalks, not just on Main Street, but throughout town, trying to get people who are walking, riding, what have you, getting through town safely. Economic Development.
The EDC met on November 8th. The commission elected Bill Wadsworth to serve as chair and Dan Kleinman to serve as vice chair through September 30th, 2024. Commissioner Warren Hua gave a presentation regarding the tour he attended at the Amazon Fulfillment Center in Windsor Locks called BDL4. Commissioner talked about the different technologies and processes that support Amazon order fulfillment. BDL4 is the largest Amazon warehouse in New England at 3.8 million square feet and one of the largest warehouses in the United States. The shipments from BDL4 are then taken to smaller facilities where an Amazon driver takes them on what's called the last mile to their final destination, to the delivery address. And the next EDC meeting is December 13th at 5:30 p.m.
Great, thank you. Farmington Historic District Commission.
All right, nothing to report from October, but we did have our November meeting prior to this meeting, and a few things were decided. There was a temporary certificate of appropriateness to install a generator above ground level at 16 Mountain. There was a temporary certificate of appropriateness approved to install a generator at 22 High Street. Excuse me, and there was a temporary certificate of appropriateness to install an 11-foot gutter over a deck at 35 Collins. Also, there was a presentation of of the Farmington Historic District Study Report dated September 2023. There was a public hearing, and they will be presenting to the town council, and that will be forthcoming. Our next meeting will be on December 19th, right here at 5 o'clock in Chambers.
Great. Housing Authority.
Nothing to report.
Human Relations Commission.
The Human Relations Commission met last week. They discussed drafting a unity message so that Farmington residents of all faiths could feel supported. They also discussed planning a joint event with the members of the Racial Equity Task Force, and their next meeting is in January.
Great, thank you. Library Board.
The library's big wine tasting at the community center was a success. I heard from some of the friends at the Farmington Library that it succeeded their expectations. Many of us were in attendance. It was a great night. And the library board's next meeting is tomorrow, the 15th.
Great. TPZ.
TPZ's been very busy. The biggest thing to come out of their meeting, which was on the 6th, was that they gave site plan approval to Metro Realty for 91 residential units on New Britain Avenue. Their next meeting, I believe, is December 11th.
Okay. Unionville Historic District Commission.
Yes, the Unionville Historic District Commission met on November 2nd. The commission voted to approve an application for 1174 Farmington Avenue to remove one chimney, replace 2 doors with windows to match the existing windows, and the replacement of another window. And the next Unionville Historic District Commission meeting is scheduled for December 7th.
Thank you. UVIA.
UVIA, just a reminder, the museum's current exhibit has been extended through December 30th. That exhibit's titled That's Entertainment, and it chronicles Unionville celebrations, town events, entertainment venues, and ways residents enjoy family time and music, drawing on the museum's extensive collection of photographs, documents, artifacts, and vintage clothing. The exhibit will present the events, commemorations, parades, and celebrations of the last century. And the exhibit is free, and it's open on Saturdays, Sundays, and Wednesdays from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m.
Great. WPCA.
We met last Wednesday, and nothing new to report.
Okay. I believe you have no other liaisons, so we'll move to the report of the town manager.
You have the report in front of you. As Joe mentioned, we have the 1928 building, the nearing completion on the design development phase, and attached is the most up-to-date entryway design for the building project. Just a reminder that at the next meeting, December 12th, there will be a reception honoring the outgoing members of the Farmington Town Council from 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. And lastly, the town of Farmington is working with the Lieutenant Governor and the Department of Veterans Affairs Commission to host 2 veteran ceremonies. Both ceremonies will take place at the Senior Center on December 4th. The Korean-era veteran ceremony will take place at 2:30 p.m., and the Vietnam-era veteran ceremony will take place at 4 p.m. If you wish to attend, please contact Devin in my office and let them know. But we sent out the invitations, and we've been getting a great response from our veterans. So that's we're looking forward to that. And that's all for my written report.
Okay.
I'd like to make a motion to accept the town manager's report.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any questions or comments? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed unanimously. Item L, appointments.
I'd like to make a motion for L3 to appoint Bree Quinby to begin immediately serving on the Green Efforts Commission and to run indefinitely.
Second.
A motion and a second. Any questions or comments? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed unanimously. Don't believe we have any other appointments. Moving on to old business. Seeing none. New business.
Agenda item N1, that the following unobligated capital improvement project balances be transferred to the accounts listed below for the purposes of closing out various inactive CIP accounts and covering shortfalls in other CIP accounts.
Second.
We have a motion second. Kathy?
You can see from the attached list, we have $505,164,000 from various accounts going into other various accounts at 505,164. We periodically review our capital projects to determine which projects are complete but still have money available and which projects either complete or not have shortfalls. Once this is made, staff requests that the town council approve the movement of unexpended balances from closed-out accounts to any accounts which need additional funding in order to cover the shortfalls. Staff has gone through the list of projects and it has determined that the project in the from accounts listed above have been completed and that the unexpended balances are no longer needed. The projects in the to section have shortfalls at the current time and need additional funds in order to complete the project.
Okay, any questions or comments for Kathy?
No, the only question that you answered was, were all these completed? So thank you for getting them done and for getting them done on time and under budget.
Okay, no other questions? We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed unanimously. Next.
Agenda item N3, make a motion to accept an equipment donation from the East Farmington Volunteer Fire Department in the amount of $10,013.95.
Second.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any questions or comments?
This is, as per our policy, any donations that exceed $10,000 must be approved by the town council. The East Farmington Volunteer Fire Company has generously donated 5 different pieces of equipment to the town of Farmington for a little over $10,000. So we thank the East Farmington Fire Company, and I make a recommendation that you approve this.
Okay, any questions? Have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed unanimously.
Agenda item N4, to approve the following property
Three.
tax
And 3, by the way.
Oh, that's my error.
Aha,
It's a,
it is a 3.
it's a 3.
To approve the following tax refunds listed below.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. We have a nice list of refunds. Any questions or comments? Being none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed unanimously. We will be adjourning to executive session momentarily. Before we move, I will end this meeting with a quote, as I generally do. Today's quote by Mahatma Gandhi: "The future depends on what we do in the present." With that,
Make a motion to adjourn to this executive session to discuss matters concerning sale or acquisition of real property. To adjourn this meeting to executive session as permitted by Connecticut General Statutes 1-225 subsection A for the following purposes as allowed by section 1-200 subsection 6. In attendance would be the members of the town council and the town manager.
Second.
have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
We're moving to executive session at 7:27. So for those of you in attendance, the meeting is basically over. You may go home now.